Sağ koldan başlıyoruz hocam. Kısa ve öz olmasını rica ediyorum.
As you were talking about Islamophobia this evening, there is an issue that upsets me and makes me worry about Muslim youth and of course myself as well. I see Muslim youth trying to imitate and follow this Islamophobians lifestyle and saying that they want to prove that we Muslims are not any different than them. For example, I see my hijabi friends dressing in a non-proper way and many other forbidden things.
Please, could you say a bit slowly? We are running at 100 miles per hour. So can you just speak a bit slowly and loudly?
Okay, the issue
Jazakallah shukran. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, the issue is I see my Muslim friends trying to imitate and follow Islamophobians lifestyle and saying that they want to prove that we Muslims are not any different than them. And one of the examples here is the hijabi friends dressing in a non-proper way and many other forbidden things. And this issue is getting more serious, so I wanted to ask you what you think about this issue and what advice you give to Muslim youth.
Sorry, you said that the Muslim youth want to say that we are not different from the non-Muslims.
Yeah, that's why they are trying to imitate and follow non-Muslims and Islamophobians lifestyle by like dressing and doing some other forbidden
Zakir Naik, let me translate
Sure.
into Turkish. Biz kardeşimiz Müslüman gençlerin İslamofobiyacıların yaşam tarzını taklit etmesi ve biz de sizden çok farklı değiliz diye bir yaşam tarzına sahip olması hakkında bir soru sordu. Ve buna misal olarak da bazı kardeşlerimizin tesettürlerindeki uygun olmayan kıyafeti misal verdi. Bu konuda Zakir Naik'in yorumlarını sordum.
The question posed by the sister, if I understood correctly, is that some of a Muslim friend want to behave like the non-Muslims and say that we are not different than the non-Muslims.
Soruyu doğru anladıysam bazı Müslüman kardeşlerimiz gayrimüslimlere hayatlarını benzeterek biz de sizden çok farklı değiliz demeye çalışıyorlar.
Sister, I feel that anyone who understands Islam, Muslim is a person who submits his will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and who agrees to follow the rules of Allah and His Rasul.
Kardeşim, benim nazarımda Allah'ın kurallarına teslim olmuş ve hadis ve Kur'an'ı takip eden herkes Müslümandır.
So when you say that my Muslim friends want to dress up like the non-Muslims, maybe in short skirts, or maybe in bikini, or maybe in skirts, because they want to behave like them, so how can you call them as Muslims? I would call them as pseudo-Muslims.
Kardeşim, sen diyorsun ki bu insanlar Müslüman ama gayrimüslimler gibi kısa etekler giyiyorlar ya da onlar gibi davranıyorlar. Ben bunlara Müslüman demem, ben bunlara yarı Müslüman derim.
As I told you, Muslim by definition means a person who submits his will to Allah. And Allah says in the Quran, in several places, including Surah Nur, chapter number 24, verse number 31, say to the believing woman that she should lower her gaze and guard her modesty, and display not the beauty except what appears ordinary of.
Allah birçok yerde Kur'an-ı Kerim'de buyuruyor ki mümin kadınlara söyle gözlerini haramdan sakınsınlar, namus ve iffetlerini esirgesinler, görünen kısımlar müstesna olmak üzere zinetlerini göstermesinler. Bu kurallara, Allah'ın kurallarına dinlemeyen, teslim olmayan bir kişiye nasıl Müslüman denir?
Allah also says in Surah Azab chapter number 33, verse number 59, O Prophet, tell your wives that when they go abroad, they should put on the cloak, the jilbab, so that they shall be recognized and it will prevent them from being molested.
Ahzab suresinde de Cenab-ı Hak, ey peygamber hanımlarına, kızlarına ve mümin kadınlarına hep söyle de cilbaplarını üzerlerine sımsıkı örtsünler. Bu onların tanınmalarına, tanıyıp eziyet edilmemelerine en verişli olandır buyuruyor.
So those Muslims who want to imitate the non-Muslims and behave like the non-Muslims should also agree that they are no longer Muslims.
Bu kafirleri taklit eden kardeşlerimiz bunu kabul etmeliler ki bu yaptıkları İslam'a aykırıdır ve İslam çizgisinden çıkmaktır.
So it's your job that whatever they want to do against the teachings of Quran, you should convince them that this is the correct way.
Onları bu yaptıklarının yanlış olduğuna ve Kur'an'ı takip etmenin, Kur'an'a uymanın tek doğru yol olduğuna ikna etmek sizin vazifeniz.
I've given a talk on women's rights in Islam where I've proved about the hijab, that why hijab compulsory to be worn by the Muslim woman.
Bunun üzerine benim bir konuşmam var. Tesettürün neden kadınlar için farz olduğu üzerine benim konuşmam var.
So your role as a Muslimah is to try and convince your so-called non-practicing Muslim friend to practice the teachings of Islam, as Allah says in Surah Nahl chapter 16 verse 125. Udu ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah wal maw'izatil hasana wajadil billati ahsan. Invite all the way of thy Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them and reason with them in the ways that are the best and most gracious.
Allah Teala Kur'an-ı Kerim'de Nahl suresinde buyuruyor ki kafirleri İslamiyete güzel sözle misal olarak davet ediniz. Bu yüzden bu İslam'ı tatbik etmeyen kardeşleri ikna etmek, davet etmek sizin vazifeniz.
Hope that answers the question. Can we have the next question, please?
Umarım bu soruya cevap olmuştur.
Thank you. Esselamun aleykum.
As was said by the chairperson, that would prefer that if there are any non-Muslims in the audience, if any non-Muslim would like to ask a question, they should be given the first chance. They are our guest of honors.
Eğer gayrimüslim varsa aramızda onların sorularına öncelik veriyoruz.
Are there any non-Muslim in the audience among the gents or the sisters?
Beyler ve bayanlar arasında eğer Müslüman olmayanlar varsa lütfen sorularını alalım.
Are there any non-Muslims? Okay, then can we have, we finished from the sister, can you have a brother from you who would like to ask a question?
Erkeklerden bir soru alabilir miyim?
Sister will come to you later. We'll just take one from sisters, one from the ladies.
Bir erkek bir kadından soru alacağız.
Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My question is, why doesn't Islam allow the freedom to Muslims to change their religion? And why, if they did, the punishment is death?
Let me translate, sir. İslam neden Müslümanların dinini değiştirmesine izin vermiyor ve bunun karşılığında ceza olarak ölümü öngörüyor?
Brother asked the question that why does Islam does not give permission for a Muslim to change his religion, and if he changes then it is death penalty. The answer to this, brother, is that Islam clearly mentioned, Allah says in the Quran in Surah Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 19, Inna Deena Indallahi Islam. The only religion acceptable in the sight of Allah is Islam.
Allah-u Teala Kur'an-ı Kerim'de açıkça ifade etmiştir ki Allah indinde tek din İslam'dır.
Allah says in Surah Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 185, that if anyone desires any other religion of Islam, it will never be accepted of him. And in the Akhirah, he will be among the losers.
Başka bir surede Cenab-ı Hak İslam'dan başka kim hangi yola giderse ondan onun kabul edilmeyeceğini ve ahirette o kimselerin kaybedenlerden olacağını ifade etmektedir.
So if anyone chooses any other religion, Allah will never accept of him in the Akhirah. So better if you know, for example, if your son wants to jump from a 10-story building, will you allow him?
Sen evladının 10. kattan aşağı atlamasına göz yumar mıydın?
No,
Why?
because you will die.
Won't you tell him that if you jump I will slap you?
Demez miydin eğer
Yes.
atlamaya niyet edersen seni
Right or
tokatlarım?
wrong?
Doğru mu yanlış mı?
Yes.
You may even tie up his hand, you may even tie up his leg.
Belki elini kolunu bağlardın.
Because a father is cruel to be kind.
Çünkü bir baba çocuğunu kurtarmak için yeri gelir zor kullanabilir.
Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that if you give up this religion of truth, you will be in the loss in the akhirah.
Aynı şekilde Cenab-ı Hak da biliyor ki eğer onun dinini bırakırsanız ahirette büyük bir hasarette olacaksınız.
Every country has its laws, rules and regulations.
Her ülkenin kanunları ve kuralları vardır.
Most of the country, if you do treason, if you sell the secrets of your country to someone else, in most of the country it is either death penalty or imprisonment for life.
Birçok devlette devlete ihanet etmek ya da devlet sırlarını sızdırmak ölüm cezasıyla cezalandırılır.
Similarly in Islam, if you are living in an Islamic state, not in any other country, if you are living in an Islamic state where Sharia is followed, then only if a Muslim leaves the religion of Islam, then only a qazi, a normal person, you and me, cannot give the death penalty, only if he is living in an Islamic state and if it is governed by Islamic Sharia, then only the qazi can pass the verdict of death penalty for an apostate, for a person who leaves Islam.
Benzer şekilde İslam'da da bir İslami ülkede yaşıyorsan ve orada şeriatın hükmü varsa sadece o ülkedeki kadı ölüm cezası verebilir. Şahıslar ölüm cezası veremez.
That too, initially there is counseling done of him. There is counseling done and explained to him that what are the benefits of Islam and why should a person be in the faith of Islam.
İlk olarak ona sözlü olarak İslam anlatılır ve İslam'ın faydaları ve İslam'ın ispatları ona izah edilir.
A chance is given to him to come back to the fold of Islam.
Ona İslam'a geri gelmesi için şans verilir.
And then if he doesn't want to and if he sticks to it, only in an Islamic state, not in a normal country, in an Islamic state governed by the Islamic Sharia, is the death penalty awarded so that he benefits in the Akhirah and prevent other people from giving up the religion which will benefit them in the Akhirah. Hope that answers the question.
Yine ısrar ederse ve devam ederse ancak o zaman şahıslar değil, tekrar ediyorum, sadece şer'i bir ülkedeki kadı o kişiye ölüm cezası verebilir ki ahirette istifade etsin ve başka insanlara da zarar vermesin.
Can we have the next question?
Bir sonraki soruyu alabiliriz.
Esselamu aleykum ve rahmetullahi ve berekatühü.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have two questions. The first one is I study in Islamic theology, and nowadays there are many new opinions, bid'ah, in this field now. So we are confused between three messages and modern life. So how can we protect ourselves from being affected by
Sorry,
those,
sister, I did not hear your sentence that we are being affected
by those false conception and
false conception of
Islam and bid'ah?
bid'ah.
No. And what's your advice for young new Islam learner, and what's your expectation from them, and how can we contribute to Islam in the best way? And the second question is, what's the best way to introduce Islam to those who never meet and know about Islam before? And should we start from read Quran Karim for them or any other style?
Start from? She said that she's studying Islamic theology and what should we do when bid'ah, when there's innovation.
No.
Bid'ah means innovation, something new in the religion, and our beloved Prophet Muhammad said that if there is any bid'ah, if there is any innovation, that innovation will take the person to hellfire. So as a Muslim, we should not be involved in any bid'ah, in any innovation.
Kız kardeşimiz bid'alarla ilgili bid'alardan nasıl muhafaza oluruz diye bir sual sordu. Peygamber Aleyhisselam bu hususta bid'alardan kaçınız çünkü bid'alar sizi cehennem ateşine sokar diye hadisi var.
The simple ruling in Islam is that for anything of ibadah, anything of worship, you require proof from Quran or the authentic hadith.
Bu konuda İslam'ın kaidesi çok basittir. İbadetle, taatle ilgili herhangi bir hususta bir şey geldiğinde bunun hadiste ve Kur'an'da olup olmadığını sorgulamak gerekir.
For example, you cannot come and tell me that for the Fajr Salah, I want to be more pious, so instead of